know the vibes. It's another week. The Hoop Genius podcast presented by NBA 2K22. As we were just saying, Assalamu alaikum. It is the blessed month of Ramadan. You're locked in. Your boy Mo, aka the Hoop Genius, and of course, real name no gimmicks, my brother, Mr. BJ Armstrong. How you doing, sir?
Yep. It's all good. It's all good, Mo. You know, another full-packed day of games. More action. The playoffs are, they're here. They're amongst us now.
Final week of the regular season. Final week.
We're seeing some weird games, some weird losses.
Man.
The NBA is taking turns, the MVP race. It's like some things, Mo, that's really just seems like a little out of sort a little bit, It's like just when you think you got it, we realize we don't have it,
Man, some crazy results. We had the OKC Thunder. This is what we were just talking about before we hit record. The OKC Thunder beat the Phoenix Suns. And then I checked the box score. I didn't get a chance
they didn't beat them. That was a beat down.
117 to 96. I checked the box score, expecting just to see like the Phoenix bench. Chris Paul played 30 minutes. Bridges played 30 minutes. Cam Johnson played 31 minutes. JaVale McGee, Biyombo, all these guys got playing time. The only one missing was Booker and Ayton. Oh, and Crowder, to be fair. Missing three of their key guys. Yeah. But I guess that strengthens Booker's MVP case. But Alexei Pokusevsky, triple-double in the win for OKC. If I said A. Wiggins, I'm not talking about Andrew. We're talking about Aaron Wiggins, who came in and gave them 17 points. Isaiah Roby, and there's just Olivier Sarr. Shout out to the Europeans getting 24 points off the bench. But, man, if I showed most NBA fans that OKC team sheet, you wouldn't be able to name half of them. We've seen some other interesting results. Philly snuck out with a win against Cleveland Cavaliers. Your Detroit Pistons, BJ, secured the win over the Indiana Pacers. Now, Sadiq Bey had 26 at halftime. I expect them to finish with a little bit more than 31. But the two games we covered in the studio, obviously it wasn't the Celtics winning by 42. Just, we covered the Milwaukee Bucks losing at home to the Dallas Mavericks, and we covered the Lakers losing again, this time to the Denver Nuggets. Now, here's one thing that I was thinking about before the Dallas game. They have lost more double-digit games than they have won double-digit games.
Who is they?
The Dallas Mavericks.
Right.
So what I mean to say is, when they win, they just win really close games. But when they lose real bad. So when it's close going down the stretch, you're looking at it thinking, okay, cool. Luka and these guys are going to carry it down the stretch. And what I didn't get a chance to say in the studio was heading into the fourth quarter, I made an emphasis in that break between the third and fourth quarter. I said Luka needs to be more aggressive. Why? Because he hasn't been to the foul line enough. He had been to the foul line 3 times. Yep. He had shot 3 free throws going into the fourth. He finished with 14 free throws attempted. And I think that's just really the difference. Is Luka, just the way he controls the game, crazy. Now, the reason I bring up Luka and the Dallas Mavericks is the main story that's dominating the NBA world today is on Saturday night, the game between the Utah Jazz and the Golden State Warriors. The Utah Jazz once again had a 20-plus point lead and then lost the game. Now, the thing that stood out to me was the Golden State Warriors defense was very interesting to me. They were switching everything and happy to live with their guards guarding Rudy Gobert in the paint. And every time Rudy Gobert was in the paint with a tiny defender mismatched onto him, Donovan Mitchell, Mike Conley, these guys on Utah, they didn't even look at him. Now, I get he might not be Hakeem Olajuwon with the post moves, but come on, man. We've seen him do it for France in the Olympics. The guy's 7 foot. If you're 7 foot being guarded by Gary Payton II or Klay Thompson, just give him the ball, let him turn around and put a hook shot. Just let him try. I seen an interesting stat. Donovan Mitchell, guess how many, actually, BJ, this would be more fun. Guess how many passes Donovan Mitchell throws to Rudy Gobert in a game? Not assists. How many times does Donovan pass the ball to Rudy in a game, average this season?
How many?
2.
Per game.
2 passes per game. 2. Trae Young averages more assists to Clint Capella per game than Donovan Mitchell averages just passes to Rudy Gobert. I think that's wild. I don't know what to make of it. Like, they always throw shade at each other in their interviews, but they never say it publicly. But it's I don't know. What's your insight? By the way,
let me ask you a question.
Just because I lost my train of thought. The reason why I mentioned Rudy Gobert is all the rumors today were linking the Mavericks to Rudy Gobert. But sorry, BJ, what's your question?
I like Rudy Gobert for the Mavericks.
I love him with Luka. Love it.
I love it. I want to ask you a question. What is always coming but never arrives?
Go on, tell me the answer.
Oh, I'm being totally serious.
No, go on, tell me.
Tomorrow.
Okay. Oh, okay. It was like a metaphor question. Okay. Yeah. I thought it was like a trick question.
This is how I feel right now.
I thought you were gonna say like Utah's run to the finals is never gonna arrive. I didn't know it was a philosophical question.
I'm just asking a question.
Okay,
asking a question to break up the monotony. Right now, I don't want to say anything bad about Utah because I feel like for the last 2 or 3 years in particular, that we keep waiting on this Jazz team. And it's just, it's like tomorrow, we keep waiting like, okay, they're going to be better tomorrow.
Okay.
They're going to be better tomorrow. They're going to be better tomorrow. And you know what? It's not coming, Mo. It's just not coming. Mo, it's not coming. And then when I get there, it's going to be, it's never going to get there. So you know what, Mo? That's how I feel about the Jazz right now. So Mo, I like their team and I like their guys. You know what I'm saying?
So what's interesting is, on the last episode on Friday, we were answering questions and you said what would be great is if the Utah Jazz could build a team like the Toronto Raptors with these long, lengthy wing defenders and all these guys. And then the reports came out that the Mavericks would have interest in Rudy Gobert, but there was another report that said the Toronto Raptors would have interest in Rudy Gobert. So
makes sense.
Mavericks, Raptors, and the Grizzlies, who we spoke about on the last show. If you could pick one of those teams,
Mavericks
become the most dangerous by adding Rudy Gobert.
Because think about it, you have an elite, top tier offensive player. He's in the top. Let's just be conservative. He's in the top 5, however you want to slice it or dice it. He's in the top 5. He is, without question,
not Rudy.
Luka is an advantage on the offensive end.
Oh, yeah.
And
we saw that down the stretch against Milwaukee.
Arguably, he could be one of the top 3. I mean, and that's saying, depending on what it is, KD, whoever you want to, Joel, however you want to do. He's in that category. And then you arguably have a top 3 defender.
Yes. And Marcus Smart, Rob Williams, Rudy Gobert. Yeah.
Yes. in that order.
Man, now I haven't eaten all day. I just ate. Yeah. And I finally got energy.
You and I both. You and I both.
But so sorry, now continue.
If you pair those two together, to me, now you're talking about something. Now you're just building a team out that can complement what both of those players do offensively and defensively. And they both complement. And here's the thing, they both complement one another.
Let me ask you this. It's kind of a nerdy basketball question. Let's talk about offense, right? We know what Rudy couldn't do on defense. Let's say offense, screen roll, Luka, Rudy. Is having a lob threat as important to spacing as having a shooter on the floor? The reason I ask is because I heard a conversation with Jason Tatum about Rob Williams and how important he is, because the bigs on the other team don't want to get dunked on. So if they play the drop coverage, they can't let Rob Williams get behind them because he will dunk on them. So I'm assuming that this is a more effective way to use Rudy Gobert. I don't know what they think in Utah because they want to pass, open three. Bogdanovich shoots. Joe Ingles, when he was there, shoots, whatever. Okay. But I just think. Go ahead.
In Rudy's defense, he may not be a player that you can dump the ball to him and do all those things like you can a Joel Embiid or a Jokic.
Yes.
But in his defense, when I saw him play in the Olympics, I saw a totally different player. I saw, like, there was a couple games I didn't recognize him. And I'm going to say this about Rudy Gobert. You know, Rudy Gobert has a disadvantage. He's playing with a small guard. Small guards can't throw lobs because they can't see over the defense. Talking about Mike Conley. This is why it's important for him to play with big guards who can create and throw lobs, you know? You say, well, what about Chris Paul? There are exceptions to every rule, okay? There are exceptions. But for the most part, small guards can't break down the defense, see over the defense, and throw lobs. So Chris Paul just...
You saying if you're Rudy Gobert, you'd rather play with Evan Fournier than Donovan Mitchell, Mike Conley? Because Fournier is who he plays with in the Olympic team, and it works very well.
What I'm saying is there's two things. If you have... See, here's my problem with Rudy Gobert and how they utilize him. It's one thing I really respect about bigs. Bigs who know they're going to get the ball, they're going to play big. I told this to Coach Monty Williams, and I hope he doesn't mind me sharing this. I told him this. I said, listen, I respect your offense more than anything because none of your bigs ever pick and pop. They all pick and roll. They roll. And when they have a little guy on them and when they switch, they seal, and everyone, whether it's Devin Booker, Chris Paul, Mikal Bridges, Jay Crowder, they throw that ball in there to him. But
it is different now without Kaminsky and Dario Saric. They've changed the identity of the bigs on that team.
They every single one of those guys, they pick and they roll and they seal. And when they seal, they throw that ball in.
Yes.
That to me shows value to the big. That makes him want to set a screen. Why? Because he wants the switch. And when he's down there, we value that advantage. You can't always get the switch and let the little guy take advantage of the big guy. That to me, it's a win for the team, but more importantly, it keeps the big guy engaged into the game.
Yes.
Rudy Gobert is one thing I know Rudy Gobert can do. He showed me something in the Olympics that I haven't seen him do. He was posting up and sealing.
Yes. He is 7 foot tall.
He was doing it consistently. Okay. And I was like, is this Rudy Gobert? I was like,
well, here's my thing. I wouldn't want to pass the ball to Rudy Gobert if he's on the block posting up Joel Embiid.
No, but
I wouldn't do that. But after a switch,
and he seals.
If you're 7 foot tall, I don't care who you are. I'm throwing you the ball.
I'm throwing it to you.
You're 7 foot tall. If you don't know what to do with that, get off the court. And I think
Rudy Gobert,
he'll be perfectly fine. Yeah.
Yeah, Rudy Gobert deserves that. And with the way that Luka plays, those are vertical lobs now.
Yes.
Those are vertical lobs. Okay. We saw that today in today's game.
We saw how Dwight Powell benefits from playing with Luka.
Dwight Powell, absolutely. And I just think it would be a win-win, a fit. But more importantly, I think, again, no criticism to, I'm not a head coach of the NBA, but I think Snyder, because I know bigs think different. Bigs think different. They just want to be appreciated. When he seals, throw him that ball.
I said this to you.
He does so much.
About the Utah coach the other day is he reminds me of Mike Budenholzer before the championship. Amazing regular season coach, plays this beautiful style of basketball, finding the open looks. The difference is, unlike Mike Budenholzer, Quinn Snyder doesn't have anyone on his roster that can go Super Saiyan like Giannis does and win you a game in the playoffs. That's the difference for me.
I agree.
So
I agree with that.
You know, none of this is a knock on Quinn Snyder. Like, I mean,
but I would like to see Coach Snyder. Begin to feature other aspects of the players. Yes. I would like to see Coach Snyder. I would like to see growth with his players that he currently has.
I would like to see them stop throwing away 20 point leads.
Growth. Like you've seen growth with Chris Middleton.
Yes.
You've seen growth with Giannis.
Big time.
You've seen like Drew Holiday, for instance. You've seen growth. Bobby Portis. You've seen growth. You know, now you could say, all right, Jordan Clarkson. Okay. You know, Donovan Mitchell has been an all-star. Rudy has been an all-star. But I want to see growth in their game.
Well, I think it's too late for that. I think it's too late for that.
Well, it's never too late. You got to add something new every year. You got to add something new. Listen, look at Giannis. Giannis is adding new things to his game all the time. I saw KD last night shoot a one leg three.
This is one thing I want to tell you about, okay? I'm telling you this right here, right now. These one-legged shots are about to become a thing. In 2 years' time,
no. They're going to become. Can I tell you something, Mo? Let me tell you something. They
always were a thing way back when.
Okay, Mo, you and I wasn't partaking in the conversation on purpose today because I just wanted to hear. You guys were talking about the GOAT and all this today in the sky, and I was just listening. And I've come to the conclusion, and I learned this from my son, who's 21, that the GOAT conversation depends on which area you grew up in. That's what it depends. But if you're a pure basketball and you actually, you know, you have to be an idiot like myself who would go and actually watch the film and tape and of these guys and ask coaches to send me tape and talk about these guys. And then you can kind of, I'm not saying I know, but I can kind of talk about it.
Okay.
You know, I can kind of. We were shooting one leg threes.
Yep.
In the 80s.
Yes.
This isn't anything new.
Yes.
So I just want to make sure this isn't anything new. Okay.
Okay.
And I have accused Steve Kerr of teaching all of his players what we used to practice all the time. Mm-hmm. That was a shot that we used to practice all the time. And the reason we did it was because us smaller players, we would try to split. And it was impossible for the big time you if you did a one leg shot instead of a.
I want to give a shout out to.
And there was a one player. Hold on. There was one player who perfected it. His name was Mark Price. Mark Price was doing this in like the 80s.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now Steve Kerr has incurred every time that Steph Curry and Klay Thompson hit a one leg runner or three. They always look at the coach, and I've accused him of saying, "I know where you guys learned that from," because Steve, who I played with for a couple of years. I think it was a couple of years. I don't know how long. I can't remember anything now. Steve Kerr was really good at it. And that's my go-to move, Mo. And when I play horse, I just shoot one leg threes, runners. Because that's all I used to practice. Because I always thought there was going to be at some point where I was going to need that shot because it's impossible to block. Who expects you to shoot a one-leg runner?
Well, this is what I was going to say. I want to give a shout out to Coach Bob Mitchell, legend over here in the UK. Okay, coached the national team. And he said to me one day, he goes, "Listen, Mo, I'm going to teach you this shot. If you're ever in need of a game winner, this is what you're going to shoot."
Yes.
And it's a spin move that leads into a one-legged shot. And he goes, they're never going to expect it. From you, look at you with your baggy shorts, thinking you're Allen Iverson. They're never expecting you to shoot this. So, I feel you, but it's not something we see in the modern NBA. And, you know.
Well, you saw it all the time in the 80s.
Okay, but that's not the modern NBA.
Yeah, that is too the modern NBA. Why is it the modern NBA? Just because you didn't see it.
This is not
We
modern.
were already doing it. We were already doing it.
That's 40 years ago. It's not modern, bro.
Life doesn't start. It's all right. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
I was listening to someone else talk about this earlier, and they were saying like everything. When we say modern, is everything after Bird and Magic. Everything since then. Everything before then, that's a different game. Everything we can talk about Bill Russell, and they didn't have no 3-point line, and there's 8 teams in the league, and you had to win 2 playoff series to win a championship. We could talk about all that. That's a different game.
Right.
I'm talking about modern era, 90s, 2000, 2010s, and now we're in the 2020s. I feel old as hell. But you know, it's interesting, BJ. You say that's your horse shot because we're gonna have to get a game of horse going soon because
that's my go-to, Mo. That's my go-to.
On the way.
I can do that, Mo. I can do that from anywhere.
Okay,
Mo, that's my go-to.
We're gonna put that to the test.
Mo, that's my go-to. I got a fadeaway 1-leg shot. But it's my go-to.
Fadeaway off one.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you think you're done with this?
Going left, going right. You heard Brian Scalabrine. You heard Scal. What did Scal? I'm not going to say it because I'm not going to even talk my stuff. What did Scal say? What did Scal tell you when he came on the show?
Listen.
What did Scal tell you?
If the fans want to know, they got to go listen to that episode. That's what I'm going to tell them.
Okay. Yeah. Listen to the episode.
We're going to say
well, what does Scal say? Well, what does Scal say?
I got
what does Scal say about the 1 leg? I was showing that to Scal.
Yeah.
I was showing that to Scal. Now, Dirk, give Dirk credit. Dirk is the guy who made it famous. But trust me when I tell you this. They were already doing that.
This is BJ saying,
Dirk made it famous.
I got something for your ass. This is BJ saying, if you play horse, I got something for your ass. So anyway, let's get into the important business here, though.
Okay,
BJ,
sure.
You know, I got a lot of love for everyone who tunes into this show every day. And I think it's only right that we share the love back. And I think it's only right that we bring the show to the people. That's right, people. A live and direct episode of the Hoop Genius podcast is going to be coming live at you. BJ Armstrong himself is coming to the ends. BJ, what are you going to say when you land in the ends? How are you going to greet the man then?
Oh, you know, I forgot my go-to.
I might have to deny
I forgot
your
my
entry.
go-to.
I might have to deny your entry until you remember.
Wait a minute. Oh gosh. Oh, Bo, I feel so bad. You know what, Bo,
guys,
I
want you guys to know I've been teaching BJ about the UK, man. I told him to watch Top Boy. Have you started watching Top Boy yet?
No, I haven't started.
Not yet. You need to watch it. You need to watch it before you get here. And then who's the artist that I put you on to? Who you been listening to? Nines. Nina with the Nina. Who else? You check the one I sent you the other day?
Who'd you send me?
Pot of paper.
Who'd you? Oh yes, that's right. That's right.
Gangsta
You give me
Writers.
so much homework. You give me so much homework.
Man. Come on, man. I'm putting you on game right now. But anyway, BJ's coming to the UK. That's the headline. BJ Armstrong back in the UK.
Give it to me one more time. What am I supposed to say? What am I? How do I greet there? You told me this one before.
Wagwan.
You told me this. Oh yeah.
Wagwan, my brother.
You
you work on that. You got 1 week. You got right. Less than a week.
I got it.
You got less than a week.
So what is that equivalent to here in the States? Like, what up? Like,
yeah. Like, what's up? It's like, what's up, man? It's the equivalent of that.
Like, what's good?
Yeah, like, what's going on?
What's popping?
Yeah. It's all the same.
Feel me? Holla at me.
Say nothing,
what up, though? You know,
I'm gonna put you on game. Don't worry. But anyway,
okay, all right.
BJ's coming to the UK. We're gonna bring the show to you live and direct. What you guys need to do is keep an eye out on social media. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna tweet out where you can get the info from, how you can be one of the exclusive listeners who gets to come to the live podcast where you will be able to answer your questions live and direct with us because we want you guys involved in the conversation too. But to do that, make sure you have tweet notifications turned on so you can be one of the first because there's only going to be limited spaces.
Yeah, it's going to be limited.
It's an exclusive club.
And when you come, just come holler at your boy. That's all I'm going to say. Come holler at your boy.
You got to come wearing some fresh sneakers too. The crepes need to be immaculate. You know how we do. But
okay.
It's even if they aren't, don't worry, I can advise you. Anyway, keep an eye out for that. I'm gonna let you know more details on the live show. It's going to be a great evening. You're going to be able to ask your questions. We're going to be able to answer them. You're going to be able to have a laugh, tell some stories, drop some games, share some knowledge. And I'm excited. I'm excited for it. It's going to be good to have BJ over here in the UK. We're going to play some horse, and I'm going to see this one-legged fade away, step back, whatever you want to call it.
That's my go-to. That's my go-to.
Yeah, man. I ain't competing with BJ. I've seen him putting up shots in the White House and, all of this. Come on, man. You think I ain't seen the footage? Come on, man. You think I didn't know about that one?
That was a long time ago, boy. That was, that's a long time ago.
Yeah. BJ Armstrong getting buckets with the president of the United States, but that's a whole nother conversation for another day.
Yeah.
This has been another episode of the Hoop Genius podcast. We're going to be here all week. We've got an exciting week, the final week of the regular season. That means our final votes for the NBA awards. That means our final selections for the all NBA teams, our final decisions for the MVP. And most importantly, finally, hopefully, we're finished with the Lakers and they missed the playing games. I'm just going to come out and say it. I don't think that they can do it. They lost tonight. The San Antonio Spurs won. They're 2 games behind in the loss column. I know they've got OKC on their schedule coming up, but, I don't know. Although San Antonio's schedule does look kind of tough. They could lose the next 4 games. Denver, Minnesota, Golden State, and Dallas. So who knows?
I know. Can we talk about LA tomorrow, though? I want to talk about LA tomorrow. When they are eliminated,
we can do the post-mortem.
Yeah,
on the Lakers.
I want to do because there's a couple things I've seen that's really I find interesting with the Lakers. I'm going to save it for afterwards that I've seen that I've observed. But I think it's fascinating, just human behavior.
Yes,
fascinating, but
most definitely.
Let's do that.
We covered that game on TV over here today. But we got a lot to talk about this week, and it's the race for the seedings. Who's going to match up with who? The Eastern Conference, in between the 2nd and the 4th seed, there's a half game difference. And then in between the 5th and the 7th seed, there's like 3 games separating them, and the playoff position. It's all changing every day. Same with the West. Like right now, Golden State and Dallas are switching back and forth for the 3rd seed, which I think is huge because that means you avoid the Phoenix Suns until the Western Conference Finals. So I know both of those teams want to be in the 3rd seed, and then you've got Denver in the mix too, who could win a couple games, get up to the 3rd or 4th seed, but lose a couple games, slip down to 7th. The Utah Jazz free falling right now. They've been playing horrendously. They could be in the playing positions. Minnesota creeping up. The Clippers, who knows if Kawhi might surprise everyone and come back. No one knows what his movements are like. The Pelicans looking strong as well, but all I'm saying is it's going to be a great week. So make sure you subscribe. If you like the show, leave a review and stay rocking with us every morning. We're going to be here in your headphones, on your speakers, TVs, phones, laptops, iPads, MacBooks. Speaking of MacBooks, mine broke this week. Be careful. Be safe, people. Be safe. It broke because I have so many damn files making this podcast every single morning. So be safe out there, people. And until next time, buckets.